All right, everyone, welcome back to Versus Live. My name's Corey Ballmeister.
And I'm Ross Merriam.
And we got Rob in the booth. Say what's up, Rob.
What's up, Rob?
Rob will be taking all your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games. He'll get his favorites and send them over to us. All right, so we are continuing our historic test here to see what the companions look like post nerfing, I would say, for a use of better term. Anybody who has not seen the companions now cost 3 generic mana to put into your hand, just in case you were living under a rock and you didn't see these announcements. 3 generic mana to put it into your hand, and then you can cast them as normally. So you're seeing something right here from both of our decks that I think we're going to be seeing a lot of. Get them out of there. Empty companion slots. I think companions, I wouldn't say are dead, but they're definitely not thriving. You know, they're definitely not thriving. I think Yorion as an 8-drop is just going to be perfectly fine in standard, at least. You know, maybe modern with that Scapeshift deck that's really still pretty good. Maybe that's still going to be a case too, but probably not. You know?
Yeah, they just all get such a significant downgrade that it's hard not to see a huge shakeup. So we don't really know exactly where these metagames are going, but it's definitely much more wide open.
Yeah, because today's day one. Today's day one where you can log into Magic Online, you can log on to Arena, and you're going to find these changes.
They push them to tomorrow.
Huh?
They push them to tomorrow.
Oh, they push it till tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Jerks.
Jerks, yeah. All right, so you can only find it here. You completely derailed me, Rob. Completely derailed.
That's what I try to do.
Well, you do it. You do it.
Your job title is director, not derailer.
Derailer, yeah. The directing derailer here.
I know they're similar words, but they don't mean the same thing.
Yes, yes. But we are, bottom line, we're not playing companions in these 2 decks. 2 decks that really didn't have access to one anyways, now that I think about it.
Actually,
you know?
This deck used to play Luris. They used to play various white and black dual lands with blue just to get access to Luris.
I have seen that before, just like Mono Red playing all Blood Crypts, Sacred Foundries, and just having access to that. But, you know, I mean, it makes sense. The card's that good. We saw Mono Red splash Oko back in the day.
It was that good.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Not so much anymore. So we're back to plain old 21 Islands Mono Blue Aggro.
Yes, where you're most at home.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to be playing Simic Nexus, a deck that I still think is going to be one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful deck in Historic, as far as the competitive side of Historic that we're now going to be seeing, because there is online events that are going to facilitate professional level Historic events here. It's going to still be a ways here until we get the Invitational, but it is coming, and I would expect this to be in the hands of a lot of pros.
Oh yeah, people are starting to look at the format. Lists are going to get tuned. You know, new archetypes are going to be developed, and then the metagame is going to narrow behind the top performing decks. And I'm with you. Simic Nexus definitely seems like a front runner to be right at the top of the metagame. Yeah,
be the best combo deck, and combo is always at a good spot. That's going to be taking advantage of maybe clunky aggro decks, maybe the slowish field decks. You know, they don't really care if you're making zombies every turn. You're not going to take any more turns at some point.
And we saw how powerful the Rakdos, Luris deck was in a creature matchup, but all those claims and priests that were all-stars there are essentially just dead here.
Yeah, I would imagine that Rakdos deck gets destroyed by Simic Nexus. Maybe, because, I mean, it is a fast deck, but it's more of a value fast deck that'll kill you relatively quickly, but it's still like a turn 6 kill kind of deck. You know, like the mono red aggros crush Simic Nexus. The mono blue aggros historically have, but we got new tools this time, and that's what you're going to be pairing. So tell us about that deck a little bit.
It's pretty straightforward mono blue. I'm a huge fan of Brazen Borrower in this deck, so I'm playing the full 4 copies. Most cards that you would just expect, Dive Down, Spell Pierce, different counter spells. I'm more on the pirate side now. I think Merfolk Trickster overall is like kind of a weak card.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather be on the Brineborn Cutthroat side of things and play the Lookout's Dispersal as my primary counter spell instead of Wizard's Retort. Still a couple retorts because you want a hard counter spell going along.
Yeah.
And then, so nothing fancy here. This is just straight up mono blue aggro. With the cards that I like. I know there's no Tempest Djinns in the main. I think you want access to Brazen Borrower.
That's the Brazen Borrower slot.
It's just so good in the deck that you just can't not play it.
One thing though, I know we can't go to movies though, but you can still buy movies, man. You don't have to pirate them. You don't have to be on the pirate side. I'll take my daily effing chat. Thank you very much.
That one was particularly bad.
You know,
Because I waited and let you
just to
finish?
get back at you for that one.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat did ask earlier, what brand of lawnmower attacked you earlier?
Oh, harsh. Hey, I needed to. I did mow yesterday and get a haircut, so I guess a Hoover? Wait, no, those are vacuums.
Yeah. What brand of lawnmower do you have?
I don't know.
I don't know. John Deere.
Yeah.
They probably make lawnmowers and tractors. Those are basically the same thing.
Yeah, I got a little too short, so thanks, whoever in chat. Thanks for bringing it up.
Thanks for having my back.
No, I can't even play Magic. I'm thrown off. I'm insecure about my haircut now.
The only person who gave you an A was Anderson.
Yes. A for Anderson. I like it.
So, like Corey said, this matchup has historically been pretty lopsided in Mono Blue's favor, but that was pre-War of the Spark.
Yeah.
And War of the Spark brought Blast Zone, which is in your main deck and excellent in the matchup.
True.
And then,
I play a lot of them, too.
Yeah, you're free.
Yeah.
And then in Historic, there's also access to Ratchet Bomb in your sideboard.
Yep.
So two very, very good cards in the matchup, along with Mystical Dispute as a really good counterspell for you.
Yeah, and then 2020 brought Mystical Disputes and Shark Typhoons,
Yes,
you know?
and Shark Typhoon. So a lot of things changed from the time that Autumn Burchett won the Mythic Championship with this deck. So definitely want to see how those affect the matchup and how much they affect the matchup, really, because we know that they're all really good cards against Mono Blue, but just how good are they? Yeah,
it was a nice flashback because at Mythic Championship 1, where Autumn dominated, we also on Ultimate Genesis played Mono Blue, but the week before, I was like 8-0 at GP Memphis with Simic Nexus, and I was just super high, and I'm like, this deck is awesome. And then I ran into Steve Rubin playing Mono Blue, I ran into somebody else playing Mono Blue, and then somebody else played Mono Blue, and all of a sudden I was 8-3. So I'm like, I am not playing that deck next weekend at the Pro Tour, and it was a case of beat him or join him, and I definitely joined him. And then I played against Nexus 2 times in that Mythic Championship, and I'm just like, yep, I can play my cards at random. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Notably, the recent addition here of Sea Dasher Octopus does let me alter the convert mana cost of my creatures. So if I mutate onto a 1-drop and put the Octopus on top, it can dodge a Ratchet Bomb or a Blast Zone.
Ooh, that'd be tricky. I hope you don't do that. That sounds not cool.
It sounds like something I don't want.
Yeah, I would prefer that you don't do that, actually.
Okay, well, I will keep my hand.
Yeah, I think I can keep mine too. It's nothing special, but...
Okay, Siren Storm Tamer.
Okay. Your go.
Furious Obsession the Storm Tamer.
Okay.
Attack for 2.
All right.
Draw a card.
18.
You're up.
My favorite thing. Well, I don't know what all kinds of counter spells you have. I know you probably have Spell Pierce. Not too much I can do about that. Otherwise, I'll say go.
Siren Storm Tamer.
In response, I'll try to Petty Theft.
I will Spell Pierce that.
All right.
That's why I didn't play the Storm Tamer last turn.
Makes sense.
There's no reason for me to get aggressive.
And that's why I didn't Brazen Borrower during your turn or during my turn, because I was like, you could still definitely have Spell Pierce. So
yeah. So you go to 16. I draw a card. I'll pass.
All right. I'm dead. I am very dead. Let's see. What can we do here?
A Blast Zone would be really good.
A Blast Zone would be good. I will agree with that.
The card that helps you catch up here. So I was certainly going to Spell Pierce a Growth Spiral if that was your play.
Yeah, makes sense. Now, what is the best play I can do? I think it is Uro.
Yeah, you go to 19.
Yep. Draw and play this and pass to you. Yeah, you get Lonely Sandbar in this deck too, which is pretty sweet.
Attack for 3.
Yep.
16, I'll draw a card.
Yep.
And I'll pass the turn.
That's not good. All gasoline.
I mean, I played my land.
Well, let's not play this quite yet. I'm going to start with a Growth Spiral.
That's fine.
Land for the Growth Spiral.
No Blast Zone. really the only card I'm super worried about. Yeah, Opt's fine.
Don't want that. Don't need another Uro right now.
Really need another Uro ever.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'll pass to you.
Instep Borrower.
Yeah, okay.
Now we have some pressure that isn't going to die to a Blast Zone. Attack for a 6.
Easy. 10.
10. I'll draw a card.
Yep.
I will pass the turn.
All right, Growth Spiral.
That is fine.
All right, put this into play. Untap. Oh, boy. This is troublesome, believe it or not. Let's go with an Opt.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we need better than that. Okay, draw. That's not better. I'll try to bring back an Uro.
I will Wizard's Retort.
You have those too. All right. Here you go.
Okay. Now it's my turn to Opt.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep that on top.
Yeah, game one I did not expect to go in my favor, admittedly. I don't expect the match to go in my favor either, but I do think I have a lot better chance.
Back for 7.
All right, sure. Down to 3.
3, and I'll draw 2.
Okay.
And I will pass the turn.
All right, if Ross falls asleep this turn, I think I got him. All right, I'm going to go with Wilderness Reclamation.
I will cast Lookout's Dispersal.
Okay. Okay.
Counter unless you pay 4 mana.
I don't have that many.
Oh, well, I guess we'll choose the counter it mode. Let's put it over there for you.
All right, I die.
Oh, I had 2 more counter spells.
Well, duh! You've been drawing 7 cards a turn. Of course you have 2 more counter spells.
To be fair, these are my last 2 draw steps.
Yeah,
I only had 1 counter spell when the turn started.
Of course.
But that's all I need.
Yeah, I did not expect this game to be good, but we're going to head to the sideboard where I got some Mystical Disputes, and I think I'm going to need them. This matchup is not favorable for me, but there is some exciting tools, and I think it'll be a little bit better. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with sideboarding here on Versus Live. All right, everybody, welcome back to sideboarding here at Versus Live. I am playing Simic Nexus up against Mono Blue Tempo. On my side, you are a creature deck that beats down, so some people think, okay, well, I still want to prevent combat damage, but it's just not that kind of matchup. You're not beating me with damage, and preventing 1 turn, I mean, the best thing it's doing is preventing you from drawing multiple cards, but it's usually not worth it. I really need to be dealing with those threats to stop the Curious Obsession, the Octopus, card advantage draws, and then just really counter them. I think that is much more important. So we're taking out 4 snares, 2 Nexus. We don't need to draw a ton of these. Like I said, I need to control what you do before I start taking the turns. Once I get to the point where I cast 1, the game's probably over anyways. And then we're taking out 1 Tameo. I don't want to get clunked on those. Bringing in 4 Dispute. I think I would bring in 9 probably if I could. I think 9 would probably be the line where I wouldn't want them anymore.
We only have 8 here, but you can take these.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. And then we're bringing in 2 Ratchet Bombs. You are a very low converted mana cost deck. These are going to shine against Lurrus decks and Blue Tempo. Other kind of stuff like that where you can just actually put it to 1, threaten to destroy multiple things. It's going to be quite effective. And then we're bringing in 1 of our negates. You have a lot of creatures. It's a little bit expensive of a counter spell. A weird thing to be saying about negate, the cheapest counter spell historically, but Dispute is now the cheaper one. So we're bringing in 1, leaving 1 in the board. Not 100% about that. I thought Uro, I was taking out another Uro for another one, but I think just Uro is a good way to catch back up when you're kind of pivoting, taking out some stuff. I need some longevity in the deck.
It's almost another angle of attack too.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's attacking rather than I don't attack. So, yes.
So, on my side, I, too, have a million disputes. Dispute is just so good against this deck that I think you want a lot of disputes in your own sideboard.
Yep.
At least to counter opposing disputes. Got a couple negates here, which are great. So, more good counter spells. We're cutting some of our protection. Corey just doesn't play many ways to interact with our creatures. And the ways that you do interact with them, Dive Down doesn't stop. So, horrible card. Essence Capture against, 3 creature deck. Horrible. we're trimming some of our 1-drops. You're not killing a lot of our creatures, so we don't need to draw too many of them.
Yep.
And we really don't want to draw too many 1-mana creatures because that's what Blast and Ratchet Bomb are good against. So
you're taking out Terramander? That's your card.
It's the worst 1-drop.
Does it feel painful?
A little bit. If it were just about the text boxes on each card, then Terramander I think would be better than Siren Stormtamer. But because you're playing Wizards Retort and Lookout's Dispersal, you need to keep in Pirates and Wizards just to enable those cards. So Terramander is the one that comes out.
And I think it's close, if anything. Like I honestly think that the ability on the other one is just better. Like protecting, I'm more afraid of protecting than you having a 5/5. Like, that still dies to Blast Zone. I wouldn't mind that. I'd rather you leave in your Terramanders personally. So
okay. Well, you hate Terramander, so we all understand that there's bias on both sides here.
A little bit.
I'm also trimming a Lookout's Dispersal. Probably tells me that my sideboard has one too many counterspells. If I end up deciding to trim one, just building a deck. The first version of the deck isn't going to be super clean.
Yeah.
So you should probably have one fewer counterspell. Where that comes from, unclear. I'm actually not bringing in Aether Gust. The green cards in your deck are not the ones I'm that worried about, except for maybe like Uro, if you get that online.
Wilderness Reclamation is a little scary, but even that is not that great against it.
And you have 4 Brazen Bars, so you can bounce Reclamation and Tempo that way. You can bounce Uro, stop it from getting.
You have 4 Brazen Bars, is what you're saying. Yep.
I have. So
I was like, I wish I had 4 Brazen Bars.
So my Brazen Bars, essentially make Aether Gust unnecessary.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna try our best here to turn a bad matchup into a favorable one on the play. If I'm not favored on the play with Dispute, Shark Typhoons, and stuff like that, then this matchup is just really, really bad. So this should be a game that I should at least have a chance. And when I say favored, I'm trying to break that 50% barrier and be 53% favored or whatever. Because like we've been saying, historically, this is a pretty bad one.
Yeah. And structurally, it's bad because you're a combo deck that is, tapping out for expensive spells. And
I don't
really
pressure you and
not interact with my creatures very well. So all of those things are very good for the mono blue side.
But Ross is extremely unlucky. So, but just maybe not with mono blue. You usually destroy me with mono blue. So I think that's where you just draw enough cards that you eliminate the variance there a little bit. It's really unfair.
It's the reason I like this deck.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, you got a question for us?
I do. So I'm looking up decks for today. Were there any that interested you that you're not playing today?
Yeah, for me, I was really into Historic. I even did a Dropping Bombs on Historic. I built a sweet Yorion Fires Nexus Shenanigans deck where you could go like Mind Stone into Fires of Invention.
Shenanigans isn't legal, Corey.
Oh, sorry.
Neither is Fires of Invention. Don't worry.
Shenanigans is legal, isn't it? That's how it was.
It's a Modern Horizons card.
Oh, that's right. I was like, that came out recently. What are you talking about? But yeah, you're right. But I just loved going Mind Stone into Fires on turn 3 and then put a Teferi into play. And then you play like Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. And then you get like Karn's Temporal Sundering and stuff because your whole deck was Planeswalkers and Fires and stuff. So I love that deck and I played a lot of it, but I haven't dove into Historic with the new rules change because nobody can yet. This is the most we can. So right now we're looking at decks that we've changed and stuff to maybe facilitate the new rules a little bit. But nothing really yet for me. Have you?
When I was looking at decks, the one that I came close to playing, I ended up siding with humans over it, was Mono Black Zombies.
Oh, okay,
which, gets to play like Stitcher Supplier, and it gets to play Crypt Breaker.
You like that
card? Yeah. It gets to play Crypt Breaker with what's the 1/2 that amasses 1 for 2 mana?
Oh, Lazatep Reaver.
Yeah. So Crypt Breaker and a Lazatep Reaver means you can draw a card immediately on turn 2, which is really nice. Has Death Baron, a really good lord.
Yeah.
And then Phyrexian Obliterator and Grey Merchant of Asphodel at the top end.
Okay.
And then Gem Palm Polluter, which is originally from Legions in the anthologies, just cycles for 2 mana and domes your opponent for however many zombies you have.
I saw that deck being played by Andrea Mangucci, and he's like, I'm going to try this deck. And then we see a screenshot later, and it's just his Winota opponent tacking into a Phyrexian Obligator, and they lost their entire board. It was like, yes, justice.
Nobody knows what Phyrexian Obliterator does.
And nope, that's a card that is a flash from the past, People that are just starting to play Magic and getting into Arena, maybe have not played the older sets there. You see You see this card and you're like, what?
Like, and it reads like kind of like Phyrexian Negator, like are they sacking permanents? Like, no, you're gonna sack all the permanents. Don't deal this one damage.
All right, great question, everyone. Keep those coming in. Is this good enough? Normally I would snap keep this, but in this matchup I feel I have to have a little bit more targeted of hands, but this could just be reasonable as well. I'm going to try it.
Okay, I'll keep as well.
Here go.
Island go.
Okay. Harbor go.
Island Storm Tamer.
All right.
You're up.
All right, I'll play Uro.
Brings you to 23.
Yep. Draw Forest and pass to you.
Session the Storm Tamer.
Okay.
Attack for 2.
All right.
You're 21. I'll draw a card.
21.
You can go.
All righty. Oh, God, that's such a bad draw. This hand is absurd. All right, I'll pass to you.
On your end step, I'll play a Brineborn Cutthroat.
I'll respond with a Petty Theft here.
This is the one Petty Theft.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Continue.
I will play Siren Storm Tamer.
Okay.
I will Session the Cutthroat.
Okay.
Attack for 3.
All right.
Brings you to 18, and I'll draw a card.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
All right. Well, this isn't great.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with a Tameo.
Oh, let's Spell Pierce that one and get a counter on the Cutthroat.
And I'll pass to you. Yeah, our draws were not friendly to us. We kept a hand with a lot of these cards in hand.
Attack for 5.
Okay, 13.
I'll draw a card.
Okay.
I keep drawing Curious Obsession a lot. It's great.
Yeah.
I love this
well,
stuff.
now you have 8 of them, so.
I'm only playing 2 Octopus, actually.
Okay.
A lot of lists are playing 3. I went down to 2.
Okay. Yeah, Curious Obsession, definitely the most important card, I would say.
Yeah. But not a card you can just play, like, max out on without thought.
Yeah.
You need a good number of counter spells. You need a good number of creatures.
Yeah,
everything has to be in balance.
I'm gonna go for a Wilderness Reclamation.
That resolves.
Move to my end step.
But in your second main phase, let's Petty Theft that.
Okay. Your go.
Skits counter.
Yep.
Do I want to cast this Brazen Borrower? You only have the one Borrower in your deck, I believe, which is pretty typical. But is there any reason to tap out? I don't think so. I don't think I would against a normal opponent.
Yep. Whoa. Am I not normal?
Correct.
That's true. That's true.
I will attack for 6.
All right, I'm down to 7.
7. I'll draw a card.
Okay.
And I will pass the turn.
All right, and we're Stone Cold Dead over here. Oh, that's interesting.
Is it, though?
Kind of.
But really, is it?
Blast Zone.
It's pretty good.
It's interesting. It's not great, but what can we do? All right, I think I still need to do something. I'm going to play Reclamation that you know about.
Okay, I will Lookout's Dispersal that.
Okay.
This gets counter.
Yep. 5, 6. Okay, pass to you.
I will play Brazen Borrower.
Okay. Yeah, I'm dead.
Counter.
I'm dead. I kept an opener of these 3, and I just kept drawing Tameos and Wilderness Reclamations. Probably not ideal.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have mulliganed. The hand was a little slow, but, I mean, 3 land, Uro, these, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it definitely did not work out.
I'm actually thinking about that turn. I think I should have Spell Pierced the Wilderness Reclamation. No, because then I guess if I Pierce the Reclamation and then Lookout's Dispersal it. I can still pay for a dispute on the other side.
And this shows how bad the matchup is. Like, oh, what else could I have done that would have absolutely wrecked you? I had so many options.
The most important thing on my turn was realizing that I had to play that game a little bit slow because my opening hand was this.
Okay.
And so if I
Great opening hand,
if I just slam the Storm Tamer on turn 1 and you dispute it, the hand just falls apart.
Yeah.
So, I wait until turn 2, I play the Storm Tamer, I have the Pierce up.
And, countering a Growth Spiral or a Search for his Kanta.
Or Ratchet Bomb, too.
Yeah,
Would have also
Ratchet
been a
Bomb would have
disaster
been good,
if I tap out. So, you want to be a little bit patient there, even though you're an aggro deck. I held up Spell Pierce on turn 1, and then on turn 3, I could have just slammed both Obsessions and had a Pierce up. But you would have, if you had Petty Theft, you had 4 mana.
Yeah.
If you had, again, a Ratchet Bomb, I'm just all in it to that. So I kept up both Pierces, just drew the 1 card, made sure I got my engine established. And was able to run away with the game again.
Yeah, makes sense. And, we look at these kind of decks, and it's interesting because, like, this matchup in particular, it can go one way. Normally it goes a certain way where blue wins. But you pair the mono blue deck up against, like, the Rakdos deck, and it's pretty much unwinnable. Like, it's basically unwinnable from the blue side. So that's nice that even if some matchups are really lopsided, it's going to create a good metagame where, like, maybe the Rakdos deck could be the best aggro deck, maybe. This is all contextual because we're in day 0 right now of the new historic format. But that could be the best tempo deck. This could be the best combo deck. There's got to be a good Esper control style deck or something like that out there. So it's going to be interesting to see which decks can beat through their bad matchups, because it seems like the card pool is large enough where there's going to be a lot of different decks, and it's just which ones have their good matchups, but also can mitigate their bad ones.
Yeah. And that really is often what it comes down to. When you have a field that is a lot of decks with polarizing matchups, usually the decks with the better sideboards that can help out those bad matchups more significantly than other decks are going to rise to the top because they're just going to squeak by in those matchups more often.
Yep. Similar to, like, Modern, maybe not Modern now, because I feel like Modern, since Astrolabe has printed, looks a lot different. But Modern pre-Astrolabe, like, at the Pro Tour, I can't even remember where it was, maybe London? No. Before that, it was, like, Tron was really good. The Hollow One deck popped up.
Hollow One was a long time ago. London was the last Modern Pro Tour where it was like, is it Phoenix and Tron and Dredge?
That's true. Yeah, and even that one, there was a lot of matchups that were, like, really, really bad, but some were winnable, some were not, But,
And part of Is It Phoenix's advantage was its consistency.
Yeah.
And that mitigated some of the downside of any sort of bad matchup.
Yep. All right, well, we got a pity game here. This match is going to be going to you, but I want to at least resolve a spell. How about that?
Well, I would like to see you actually, like, activate a Blast Zone or cycle a Shark Typhoon. Like, all of these new tools we've talked about, you just haven't used.
Yeah.
You've had a Blast Zone here or there, but haven't activated it. That came too late. But you haven't drawn a Shark Typhoon. You haven't drawn a Mystical Dispute. You haven't drawn a Ratchet Bomb.
Yeah. And now I draw this hand, which is, like, normally pretty keepable, but these are the only 2 of these in our deck, which is pretty frustrating. But I guess I keep it.
I will keep as well.
All right. I'll try it. All right. Take 2, pass to you.
I will play a Siren Storm Tamer.
Sure.
You can go.
Opt.
Yep.
I'll keep this card. Draw. I'll play this and pass to you.
Attack for 1.
Okay, take it.
You're at 17. You
17.
can go.
All right, end step Growth Spiral.
That's fine.
Play a land. Untap. All right, we got a Blast Zone. Go.
Huh. Have a Blast Zone, eh?
That I do, eh?
Okay. End step, I will attempt to mutate onto the Storm Tamer. Hopefully this doesn't get disputed. But even if Corey blows up the Blast Zone, and then I'll have the Octopus roaming free.
That would not be great for me. Well, I got some options here, but I think the best one is just a dispute.
Add the dispute.
Yep.
Not great. No. Well, this is the first game where my draws haven't been excellent.
Excellent. We like that.
That's kind of messed up if you think about it.
No, it really isn't. Seems fair.
And at this point, I think we just have to cycle this Curious Obsession. So
Okay.
our hand is bad enough, so I'll get in for 2.
Okay.
Bring you to 15, and I'll draw a card.
Okay.
And I'll pass the turn.
All right. Land go.
Attack for 2.
Yeah, this probably should be a moment where I blast zone. So yeah, let's do it.
And unfortunately, I did not draw another threat, so pass.
All right. Land go.
Castle 2, that's bad.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Pass.
Yeah, I'll scry 2.
Sure.
Do I want either of those cards?
Ross, given that you're just playing 21 Islands, do you think any copies of Castle Vantris could be advantageous in the deck?
I see a lot of lists. Hold on. I see a lot of lists playing a Castle Vantris, usually 1. And I think maybe you can get away with that, but you really want to be able to keep a lot of 1-landers. And I don't really foresee myself activating Castle very often.
Yeah.
But I think 1 is justifiable. But if I were really testing this deck, I would try 1.
Yeah.
But my intuition says that it is not worth it.
Okay.
Because even though it's not going to happen that often where you have a 1-lander that you would keep if it was an island, but wouldn't if it was a castle.
Very rarely that's going to happen. I could see like 2 tops, you know.
I think it's also going to be very rare that you just activate a castle.
Yep.
And still on your end step, I'm going to play a sailor.
Okay.
You bought them both, right?
I did, yep.
Okay.
All right.
Now Corey is kind of forced to act because I'm drawing cards on turns where he does nothing.
That's true.
It's better than his scrying 2.
I'll pass to you.
No land drop.
No land drop.
Well, I'm going to draw a card.
You can draw a card. I think I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to draw 2 cards. Maybe I slap 1 more on there so I can pick top 3. The dispute isn't great right now because you can just pay it. All right, I'm going to look at the top 3.
Okay.
Pick 2 of them. All right, I'll pick these 2 and the rest of them bottom.
Attack for 1.
Yep.
You're at 14.
14.
You can go. Now we got ourselves a nice little game.
Yeah, now we're playing some magical cards.
You got 7 in hand.
Yep.
I've got 5 in hand.
That's going to be a battle. Opt.
Yep.
Keep that one. Blast on.
Yep.
And your go.
And stuff, I'll draw a card.
Sure.
Attack for 1.
I will play a Brazen Borrower. Brazy B.
You got 5 in hand?
Yep.
I will dispute the borrower.
I'll negate the dispute.
That leaves you with 4 in hand.
Yep. 4 cards.
Everything's fine.
Okay, and then I'll block.
Okay. You can go.
Okay. All right. Probably has another counterspell, but either has another sailor or not valuing it as much. All of which are pretty reasonable. I'm just going to go land go.
Okay. I will attempt to borrow on your end step.
Borrower.
3 up to pay for a dispute.
Yep, that's fine.
Just going to run headfirst into a Shark Typhoon, I guess.
11.
Not really much I could do about that because of the second blast zone. But I will play a Siren Storm Tamer.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
End step, Nexus.
God's Dispersal.
Okay. Shuffles back in.
End step Nexus is a nice line. Forces some action on my turn.
Used to be a really popular, like right when this deck came out, I can't remember what was the popular deck, but I remember just End step Nexus being just insane.
I think there was a lot of Esper control at that time.
That would make sense. I'll play a land. It's tough. I think I'm going to go with a Tamiyo.
Resolves.
Okay. It's the first thing I've resolved.
You resolved the fastest intervention.
Yeah, that's true.
And you resolved the Brazen Bar.
Oops, you didn't see that?
Yeah, it's pretty clear you had the dispute when you were thinking about casting the intervention for 2.
I actually didn't have it at the time. So I could like bring back a Brazen Bar and then make this vulnerable. I think I just want to go up. Now, what do I want to name? Could go like Wilderness Reclamation, and if I were to hit, I probably would still just try to play it. So I guess let's do that. Wilderness Reclamation, top 4?
Yep.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, bingo.
Bingo, bango.
Now the question is, do I want to play it? Because you could have Spell Pierce. It's not that valuable to me anyways, but yeah, let's go for it.
Resolves.
All right. Untap. Still at end step then. Nexus.
Resolve.
All right. Now we're cooking. We're doing the things, y'all. We're doing it. All right. Take my extra turn. Okay. Now we can think about bringing something back now that we have this much mana, like something like a Thassa's Intervention. To hit a decent amount of targets. We can try to play it a little safe here by just like putting charge counters on here. That's probably pretty reasonable. Or we can just tick up and keep trying to hit stuff, maybe hit an Uro. Yeah, I kind of like that. Just make sure this is out of range. I can just deal with stuff with my Blast Zone. So I'm going to name Nexus of Fate. 4 bricks, no Uros either. So now I'm going to play a Blast Zone. I'm going to move to end step, put the trigger on the stack.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to put 2 charge counters here.
Yep.
So put this up to 3, and then I'm going to float 4.
Yep.
I'm going to untap, and I'm going to scry 2. Okay, and I'll pass to you.
Yeah, exactly enough mana to activate both Blast Zones if need be.
Not bad, not bad.
I will cast an Opt.
That resolves.
I will bottom this island.
Okay.
Send both at Tamiyo.
Okay, I'll blow up the one on 3. And I'll put this down to 1. Or put this down to 6.
That's the turn.
Okay. Thinking if I want to do this before I draw. It seems bad, so we'll just draw it. Not a bad one. Let's try to play that. Search.
Resolves.
Okay. Now, question is, do I want to bring anything back yet, or just still try to jam? I think I'm still just going to try to jam up. We'll name Nexus. Let's go.
Those go to the graveyard.
Oh, yep, sorry. Let's go. All right, I'm gonna move to my end step.
Yeah, let's casually 2 in the deck.
yeah. I'll float 6. 7 Nexus.
Yep.
Okay. Now we can cast the other one, or we can castle. I think let's cast the other one. Nexus. So I got the next 2 turns.
You're gonna. So this game is basically over.
We got to show the public just in case.
I'll
but
let you go through a little bit of.
Thanks, bud.
If I had found my last octopus, I might have had a shot here.
I'll keep that on top. Transform. All right. Draw this. I will first. Nope. I will name Nexus. Try to hit the other one of. Miss. I will go to end step. Float 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, just float 5. I will Escanta. Probably should have did that first so I could play that, but whatever. Float 5, 6, 7, Nexus.
So you still have the next 2 turns.
Yep. Now I'll Escanta. You want to cut?
I just want to count.
A cut.
Ross, let me up when he's done.
6, 9, 12, 15, 18.
I think it's actually mathematically
this is
impossible for me to
25.
lose.
So you're going to go down to 24 with the Escanta, 23 with your draw step,
Plus
and then
looking.
19 there, and then 2 more of these goes down to 17
Could
cards.
scry. I could use next turn to just scry and Escanta
And then
twice.
on your last turn, you go down to 16 cards.
Plus I'm getting this.
12 cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually the point where Corey gets to see his entire deck.
Yeah, I just always, eventually I'll play a Shark Typhoon for 1, who cares, and then attack, and then get you dead. Yay! We got a game. Well, so far, our versus live has been quite similar. You getting destroyed round 1, winning the pity game, and then same for me on round 2.
But you saw there the power, when you had the early blast zone, it was a lot harder for me to get around things.
Yeah.
You know, I flooded a bit, but even if you gave me like 2 more counter spells that game, it's not like I'm dominating. Then we have a game.
Yeah.
Instead of you overwhelming me there. So those early interaction points are really, really good in the matchup. You just didn't have them the first couple games.
Yeah, I really didn't.
And when you didn't have them, it's like the matchup was a year ago when Mono Blue was heavily favored because there just wasn't the tools for the Simic deck to really work against it to combat Mono Blue. But
and realistically,
and Blast Zone, both great.
And realistically, I should have just mulliganed my game 2 hand. I think after realizing what this matchup is truly about, that was a good hand that I would keep in the dark against a random deck. Yeah. But Uro, 2 Wilderness Reclamation, Tameo, just not good enough against a Mono Blue deck, you know? And
you need to be coming out quickly. You really want that early growth spiral. You want that early interaction.
Yeah.
That hand just had none of those.
Didn't help to draw Wilderness Reclamation and Tameo in my first draw steps, but, you know, that's still a mistake on my part.
It's just the Magic gods punishing you.
It really is.
That's how you know it's a bad keep. The gods, when they really just rub it in. They send some pretty strong signals.
Most of the time it's for me, I'll keep a 5-lander on the play. I'll like play a temple, scry a land to the bottom, draw a land, and then draw a land again. And it's like, all right, I'll see y'all later. I'm leaving. I am out.
You just look up and be like, really?
Yeah, justice, yeah. Okay. All right, so everyone, so that's going to do it for round number 2. We are going to be coming back for round number 3 where we're playing for the marbles, and I'm going to be playing, you know, I would say the de facto best deck of Historic pre-banning, and to be honest, it didn't lose anything. It didn't really lose anything at all. It technically did lose an agent or 2 from the sideboard in main that I had to replace, but it really was not that big of a deal in the Historic version. Now, in the standard deck, you see Winota bringing in only Agent of Treacheries, you know, causing a bunch of treachery. But in Historic, we got some good humans on the top end that can, you know, still do the same stuff. So I'm going to be playing Nea Winota with some of my favorite cards. Have you ever played Fauna Shaman?
I've played a little bit with Fauna Shaman.
Put a Vengevine into your yard, search for something else. Oh, that was a standard deck at one point. It was so good.
Well, are you talking about the Kibler deck? Did that deck have ever Fauna Shaman in it?
I think so. I don't know. I remember playing it at a Nationals. You know, where I discarded a Vengevine and searched up something that allowed me to bring the Vengevine back, and I was just like, this is awesome. Yeah,
because there was also
I can't remember exactly what it was.
There was the Selesnya Quest deck that would play Fauna Shaman too.
Nope. It was a Nea version. Yeah.
I used to play one Fauna Shaman in Maverick Legacy years ago.
Oh.
It was not particularly good.
Wow. But you just wanted to be cool, huh?
You just had like an extra slot. Sometimes it did some things like you would draw a Noble Hierarch and like, okay, I'll get another Knight. Or,
Okay,
I'll get some of the cool tutor targets. It was also sometimes neat against the show and tell decks to let you like tutor different creatures against them.
That might be good situationally. Yeah.
They put in Knight, they put in Emrakul, you tutor for Knight, put in Knight, and then Knight for Caracas, and stuff like that. So it could do some cool stuff, but it was never particularly good.
What's this format? Is it called Legacy?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Back when Legacy was fun.
God. Yeah, I remember the first 2 versus live shows that we did that were Legacy back when, we still supported Legacy for events that we went to a lot, So I was like, I got to learn how to play it, and I'm just like, okay, all right, Corey, think about this. You can do this. And then you're like, yeah, don't brainstorm turn 1, dude.
I believe the very first turn of Legacy you played on versus live was an end of turn brainstorm, which is like the canonical don't do this.
Yeah. Hey, I admit I was not good at Legacy, and I'm still not. So sorry to all the Legacy fans I let down at the beginning of my coming to versus live here.
Well, while Corey will be playing Naya Winota in the last match, I will be playing Bant Field of the Dead. Also, just one of the most powerful cards in the format. There's a ton of different ways to build a
scape
field.
Ships in there?
Got some scape ships with my Teferi, so reminiscent of the old standard deck, but still very powerful here, and definitely going to be one of the most explored archetypes in the coming weeks.
I like it. Field of the Dead is still good, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short 5-minute break, and we'll be back for our battle with the marbles. Don't go anywhere.